Michael Jordan was doing it, killing it, three-peat, you think after every game he was just calling Nike or Gatorade and was like, yo, y'all see me out there? Y'all see me? No, Michael Jordan was doing Michael Jordan. When you build your own brand, you don't have to reach out to nobody. The light goes on you.
If you want to become the known expert in your industry, key person of influence, and build a brand around what you do, today's conversation will give you the exact blueprint.
I think because I never stopped learning, never stopped growing. And the big thing is, there's a lot of barbers that have gotten real big, famous. A lot of those people that have gotten to that level of stop doing the one thing they got them there.
Our guest today, Los Cut It, is a world-renowned educator and has helped to build some of the biggest brands in the barber industry.
Be patient. I think everyone wants everything like this. And it's like, nah, bro, because you can go viral tomorrow, but after that, then what? How are you going to sustain that? There's nothing under here to keep you up there. One thing I've realized is when people work for brands and they don't build their own brands, the moment that brand lets you go, what do you have?
Right. Let's talk to the person watching this video that's just trying to make this barbering thing work. What is the biggest piece of advice you can give them?
Ooh. Damn, that was a good one.
So Los, you are one of the most creative individuals that I've ever met. Right, and what I've noticed about creatives is it comes from somewhere, right? Just like the art you create, there's a reason why you made it, something that inspired it, and I found that to be the same with the creative themselves. Mm-hmm. So what experiences have brought forth the Los we know today?
Just the experience of always having that white belt in mind, always being a student, always learning. I don't think I've ever had conversations with people or just kind of had certain situations or shows or events where I felt like I made it. And a lot of people from the outside always tend to look in and be like, man, I want to get to where you're at. And to me, I'm like, dude, I don't even know where I'm at. And I don't even know where like, not to say I don't know my goal, but I just don't ever have that feeling of I made it to the mountaintop. Because every time I get to a goal, what's the next move? That's the mindset. What can I learn? How can I get better? This industry, I think it's easy to keep going and growing simply because it changes all the time. So you'll never figure it out. And the moment you figure it out, it's already changed. Just like social media, algorithms. And when it comes to being inspired, yeah, I think that mentality, I think Pablo Picasso said it, where he said, man, I don't want to butcher this up, but something like a good artist copies, a great artist steals. So sometimes when I see an idea and someone came up with a nice idea, I think of ways how I can make it better or different, because originality is a thing. But originality, if you really think about it, the definition of originality is taking something from its original source and changing it up so well that it becomes yours. Yeah. So that's kind of how I've always think when it comes to new things. When people say, damn, you did that, I've never seen that before. But it came out of somewhere, you just don't recognize it.
Right.
Yeah.
You put your own spin on it.
Always. And that's what I always preach to people. I'm like, you have to change it up in terms and ways that you like it. That way people could kind of resonate with that rather than where you got it from, you know?
Is creativity like in your family? Like, was there someone in your family that inspired you like that?
So it's funny because, you know, I don't know if you're right-handed, obviously, right?
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times people are going to be right-handed. I'm lefty. So it's such a rare
I didn't even know you were left.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. People to this day, when I cut hair, they be like, man,
I didn't even realize.
Yeah. So, because they're so rare, my mom's a lefty and my brother's a lefty. So I got 2 sisters that are ready with my dad. So my mom used to be an artist growing up. She would always tell me she used to draw. I seen some of her art, her drawings, I guess, sketches. Yeah. And she would always tell me, you know, as I got further with creativity and artistic and everything in this world, she'd be like, man, you got to places that I've always wanted to, because I was an artist and I was free. I loved adventures, but I had to give it up when I met your father, when I had your brother, etc. So she's always reminding me that I'm the one that took it to a level that she's always wanted to take it. So I have to say it came from her, because even as a kid, I would always draw and paint. Yeah. The only class in school that I aced was art class and gym class. Other than that, everything else was horrible. I was just an artist by heart, man.
Did your brothers adopt any of those traits, or no, not really?
Yeah, my brother was an artist too, but I think it was just more because I was always drawing, and he ended up just kind of, when we got older, he just went one way. Same thing with hair. A lot of people don't know that when I started cutting hair when I was 12, he was the one that was cutting my hair first, because we were practicing on each other. And once he realized that I got good, he stopped, and I would cut my hair and his hair, and I would just practice and get good like that.
Got you. Yeah. What was it that brought barbering forth? Like, was barbering always the plan?
No.
How did barbering come to be?
So it's funny because a lot of people don't know that I never had a real job. So I don't know anything about like job interviews, to sit down and get a job interview. I don't know what it's like to clock in for 9 to 5 outside of a barbershop. But obviously I feel like barbershops and barbers are different than your typical 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So barbering was never a plan. You know, back in my day when I was 10, 11 years old, there wasn't shops the way they are today. There was Maria's on the corner. There was a unisex. And they would cut everybody. So my dad had this one lady he would go to. And we would only go when he would go. And that was typically once a month, once every other month. And I remember specifically one day I needed a haircut for picture day for school. And I had asked him when he got home from work. And he looked at me. He's like, no, you're good. We're going to go next week. And I was thrown. I mean, you see the hair that I got now. I mean, imagine as a kid.
It grows out, yeah.
With no product. It was just fluff. And I remember saying something slick to him. I'm like, don't nobody want to rock that hair, man, that you got. Like, we want to cut hair short. And he was eating and he stopped. And he's like, you want to cut your hair every week? He's like, go buy your own machine. He's like, I don't care if you go bald. Ironically, I went to Walmart or Walgreens, one of those, and I bought a Conair machine. And back in the day, it wasn't BaByliss. It was literally just Conair clippers.
Yeah, no lever or lever?
No, there was a lever.
Okay.
They had some with no lever. But it was funny because now, I'm sure they still have them, but they're not as common as before because Conair switched to BaByliss. So back then it was a Conair. I remember saying like, yo, Conairs are the best. And that's what I started. And fast forward so many years later, that's what I represent now, right?
That's
Clipper
crazy.
Conair, right? It's crazy. But yeah, that's how it started. I started cutting my own hair, and it was never a cool thing. Like, it was embarrassing telling girls that I'm a barber.
Yeah.
You know, they'll sit there and be like, "What do you do for a living? What kind of job you got?" And I'm like, "Oh, I cut hair." And they're like, "That's not a job." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I get $5 a haircut." No, I mean like a real job. Like, get a real job. That's not real. I'm like, "Well, it's real for me. I can do what I want." I always try to justify it. I can do my own schedule. I can do what I want. I don't have to go to an office. I cut in my bathroom, and they were just like, "Nah." So it was a turnoff to a lot of girls growing up in high school. I remember. Yeah.
Which is crazy because nowadays when you say you're a barber, people just...
They love it.
I feel like people assume that you make good money as opposed to...
It goes
maybe
back
it was
and forth.
different back then.
I think a lot of people... Depends on how you are, right? If you come clean cut, you got a nice car, people can assume that. But if you're just kind of just like a regular dude, dressed regular, people could also think that you're a barber.
That's true.
That charges too much, or you got a ring light, black gloves, or you're one of those.
Oh, yeah, the meme content.
And they get the misconception. So it just, I think to me, is how you present yourself. That's how people will look at it in a way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want today's conversation to be just about cutting hair because
Cool, man.
there's a lot more to Los than just cutting hair,
Right.
right? So what was the moment you realized that like you were different from the normal barber? You didn't just cut hair, but you like to create and be innovative. Like, was there a moment that you realized
I wouldn't say
that?
a particular moment, but there was definitely key factors where one of them was Pacino's, and I think a lot of young barbers aren't familiar with who Pacino was, but Pacino's, the barber, was the guy, one of the first ones, a pioneer that created an app, created educational, created a tour before anything was, like, he made barbering cool.
Yeah.
So from my career starting forward, it was just watching people like him and loving that because it was something that I did for a living, and then seeing somebody on stages working for companies and just doing the cool stuff that we always wanted to do. That was kind of what inspired me to create the Blueprint DVDs. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah, no, I've heard of them.
So I did all that, and I did my own Blueprint tour, and it just inspired a lot of stuff. So I think I've always been chasing people that have always inspired me. It was never something that I would say I originated, but I originated my own version of it.
Gotcha.
If that makes any sense. So I wouldn't take. It's like people say, "Oh, I created the low fade," or remember when Patty Cuts was getting. They were showing him love for making the fade on.
Yeah.
It's like no one really created. He just did his own way on Travis and not Travis, Kelsey.
Yep.
So that's how I feel. I don't think I originated anything, but it's just the creator in me just created my own version of it, and I think that's what people saw in me and that they ended up liking. People that saw the things that I did and couldn't see what Pacino did.
Yeah.
That's kind of how the momentum kicked off. Yeah.
How did you go about marketing that? Like, was content popular then when you dropped the Blueprint and stuff, or?
It was so different, dude, because you got to think back. Instagram, when it first kicked off, it was photos only.
Yeah.
So any type of video, I mean, it was unheard of. Like, I remember when we finally got 15 seconds, and 6 seconds through Vine, 15 seconds on Instagram. So it was really, how can we capture this entire event or this entire road trip in 15 seconds?
Yeah.
So you had to be really creative. Or how can we capture this event just in photos? So I think a lot of people were craving the experience in live. So whenever I would do a class, it was a big deal because there wasn't a lot of barbers doing it, but anyone that saw that we were doing something big, they wanted to attend because it's either you missed it or you saw a photo of it. You couldn't really get the full experience.
Right.
Now I feel like they do full 1 minute recaps and you get to see a lot of the highlights, etc. But back then it was so new. So yeah, I just lost the question.
Like, well, how'd you market it essentially? Was
Okay.
it through in-person classes? Was it through content?
No, so it was through content. So because we only got 15 seconds, we at the time when it all started, you gotta understand, social media was all about changing every time. So at the time, it was about cinematic stuff. So if you could shoot a video that looked like a movie, slow motion and effects, people ate that up, even if it was 15 seconds. Now, people don't care for that. They want raw, cell phone, like no mics, just super raw, and those are the things that go viral, which is also easier work.
Yeah.
So I had to learn and understand the cinematic vibes to get that movie feel and all that, and that's how we market it. Because every time I would do a class, I'll do a trailer. Like right now, you watch a movie, Avatar's coming out, damn, that trailer was dope. Things like that, we would create cinematic vibes. And if you guys go on YouTube now, you can look up the Blueprint 1 trailer and the Blueprint 2 trailer. And they're legit movies. Like, you was watching, you'd be like, damn, when is this coming out?
Yeah.
That's how we would market it back then.
Got you. I remember coming up in the barber game before Level 3, you know, rebranded to Level 3. And you guys had it on lock, you know, between you, you know, A-Rod and other people that were part of the brand at the time. That was barbering.
Yeah. To me, that was the peak because it was the first time we were finally getting acknowledged. So everything was wild. They were doing events at clubs and
which is crazy.
Yeah, it was so new, and now it's kind of getting watered down, and it's understandable because everybody wants to be a part of their own thing.
Yeah.
But it's also that was the peak for me. Like, that was real barber love. Like, you would see these people, and you would see them like you would see your cousin that you wouldn't see for a few months, and it was always love. And you can't even picture it for those of you guys that are watching at home, being in a club with 90% men and still having a good time. It was wild. You know,
you're talking about at a barber event, basically.
Yeah, like we were, for example, we would go do it back in the day. It was Exotics. It was Exotics barber tours, and Exotics would go around city to city, and they were literally promoted like and One Tour and all those back in the day. And they would go city to city and go to clubs, and they would not rent venues at hotels. They would rent out clubs. So we would be at these clubs, same vibe, same energy, music popping in the daytime. Yeah. But in there it's so dark, it felt like you were partying at night.
Right. How you cutting hair in there?
Oh, ring light, all that, right?
Got you.
But it was such a vibe, but it was 90% men. You know, so you're in the club, you're vibing with so many guys everywhere. There's not enough women, and it was still a good time because of the brotherly love. And now, because now women are getting more involved, it's easier to bring more men out. So now when you go to events, you get that 40, 60 percentage. So it's just a better vibe in a sense. But now you're getting them at bigger venues, like actual venues, not clubs. So the atmosphere is a little more professional, I would say.
So when you say that was peak barbering, what do you feel like has changed between then and like the current climate of what barbering is or culture?
A lot of avenues. I think a lot of barbers, just like, you know, you got generations. You know, I'm not listening to the music my father listened to, my mom listening to when I was a kid. And the kids that are under me are not going to be into the things that I was into, and it's just going to change. Gen Z is not going to like, or the new generation that's coming is not going to like what Gen Z is doing. Yeah. So understanding all those variables is how I always proceed with life. And I think at the time, it was just so new, and it was a lot less ego and a lot less avenues. So it was just one direction that the industry was going, which was up.
Up, right.
And now people were like, well, I don't want to cut at a barbershop. I want to go to a suite. I'm going to go this way. Oh, I don't want to cut at a suite, cut at a shop. I just want to cut to film on TikTok or Instagram. Yeah. Some people just only want to cut actors, celebrities. Some people just want to do movies. Some people want to create the shop. Yeah. Others like me, a barber supply. So now you got so many avenues. Instead of really just going directly up, like that momentum, now it's just where do you want to do, where do you want to go? Yeah. So it kind of.
Do you think that's better to have more opportunity, or how do you view that?
It depends what your definition of better is. Better in what? Better in happiness, money, success. I think I like it personally because it allows you to do what you want to do. Yeah. Right. So you get a lot of people that'll sit there and tell you, you have to cut this many heads a day. You have to do this. You don't have to do anything. You do whatever you want. You know, there's people that make content only. There's people that cut 5 heads. There's people that cut 38 heads. Yeah. There's people that do celebrities, like I mentioned. No matter what avenue you do, I think having those options is dope because it makes barbering a lot more. It's expanding a lot more, right? So you get way more options. Whereas, like, if you're just gonna be a barber, you just need to be behind a chair and that's it. Yeah. Like when I started, that was it. You grind, you greet your clients, and that's it. It was nothing else. And so now seeing how big it is, but now it also can confuse people, right? You got these young kids that are seeing these dope avenues and they're like, oh, I want to be a barber. But then when they go to barber school and realize, oh, I got to cut hair and I got to build a clientele and I got to they're like, I don't want to do that. I want to do that. And they don't understand that.
Stepping stones.
Yeah. So I think a lot of the times people get that misconception of why barbering is cool. It's cool because it allows you to do whatever you want if you put the work in.
That's good.
If you don't put the work in, you're not going to get anything.
That's good. You mentioned that you feel like, you know, you don't listen to the music your dad listens to and so on and so forth. It is the same way with barbering, and you can see the people who were relevant at once and aren't really anymore. One thing I feel like you've done well is be able to stay like an industry leader or someone that, you know, even new barbers look up to. Why do you think that is? How have you been able to stay so relevant?
I think because I never stopped learning, never stopped growing. And the big thing is, there's a lot of barbers that have gotten real big, famous, known celebrities, whatever you want to, whatever label you want to put. But a lot of those people that have gotten to that level of big or famous or greatness stopped doing the one thing that got them there. So they stopped learning, they stopped cutting hair, they started taking other projects. Now they're doing this and they're trying to milk that moment they had, but miss out on the opportunity or understanding that the industry constantly changes.
Yeah.
So if you're not leveling up your skills in to kind of fit in what's in today, how can you continue being relevant, and especially in the industry? Now, granted, you got people like Vic Blends that maybe doesn't cut hair anymore, kind of stepped away from that to do what he does.
Yeah.
But he's made it. He's one of the very few that made it not doing that. So he doesn't have to continue to cut hair, although if he knew, let's just say if he got better at shear cutting or he got better at razor work and all that, he'd probably be more confident cutting bigger and better celebrities, right? So, and then there's people that just give it up all the way, and then now they become doing their own thing and they become successful. But for most people that don't want to do any of that, they get to a level, and I always say it, they get to their limit, whatever their limit is. And the thing is like time will tell when you hit the top. And that's when you slowly start fading away because you can't keep up with what's new, what's popping. With me, I understood long ago that women's hair was going to be a thing. I understood long ago that you have to understand how to style, scissor cut. I knew, so I put all the effort. I knew and understood that you have to shoot your own content eventually. You have to do this, do that. So I've always been, just like I said, a white belt, learning, watching, and just executing. And because I still cut hair, because I love it, I may not be a slave behind a chair, but I still cut hair. It allows me to practice and stay sharp, although I'm doing everything else. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, when they give up cutting hair, then that's kind of...
They stop cutting in general,
That's it. They hit the limit. So eventually, in the industry alone, you're going to phase out. You may be popular on other things, but as far as cutting hair, you're going to phase out. So barbers may feel like they no longer want to learn from you.
Do you think you'll ever reach that point where you feel like, you know, it's time to pivot and not... and you know what I'm saying, not do, or stay up to date?
I'm always going to be relevant in the industry because I'm always doing things that are going to be new. And I'm not afraid to fail. I've done so much stuff that didn't work that people probably forgot about. Yeah. Only remember the good stuff. I have a new concept that I was just telling one of my girls, Ashley, right now about that I want to do. And I would love to pitch it to you if you're interested to be the first one here. So right now, there is no one in the entire industry in the world that's given anyone an opportunity to become an educator. You know, people can teach you how to cut hair, people can teach you a lot of things with hair, but no one's really educating anyone on how to do presentations. Yeah. You know, I think someone like you that had to learn the hard way, thrown to the wolves and figure it out.
Still figuring it out.
Yeah, still figuring it out. Of course, I want to be able to host events here maybe monthly where I give people an opportunity to do presentations in front of me. You bring your own person, you get a 30-minute clock. Depending on how good you are, I'll let you go all the way. If you're not that good, I'll cut you off and I'll critique what I think you should fix and adjust. The goal for that would be once I get enough people and I do them for months, maybe the first 6 months, we can kind of tally it down to one single person that I think could become great, that they may not have the following, the fame, etc. But now, because I feel, and you beat everybody else and you got to a level where I'm like, dude, you're a great presenter and educator, now you can get a verbal reference to Level 3 or BaByliss or any company of your choice, based on just me and giving them a reference. And I think that can help out a lot of people. And then by me critiquing people can help them out by fixing those issues.
That's good.
And just giving people a platform to become educators. Why? Because as you know, we do monthly classes here, right? Yeah. You know how hard it is to find real good educators? Sure, people be like, I want this person, that person. Yeah, but I've seen them teach and there may not be at the level where I can have 60, 70 people here Sure, they're famous. Sure, they're big, but I just know them. And then there's people that are really good educators that might not have the following to bring
the
60, 70
crowd,
people.
right?
So I figured out real quick, okay, we need good educators. And that's why I want to do that.
Yeah, so let's get into it, because that was a point I wanted to tackle in this conversation. What does make a good educator?
Ooh, first and foremost, confidence. Being comfortable and being confident to talk just how you would if you were talking to your best friend one-on-one, and doing that and setting that type of tone in front of anybody, whether it's 5 people or 1,000 people.
Yeah.
I think cutting hair it's a small part in it, but it's more about how you address the audience, the dead space, the energy, the body language, the understanding the message that you're giving out. You're not just rambling.
Yeah.
You're wise, telling them this, and most importantly, finishing their haircut. I can't stand an educator that gets paid so much money to do an educational class,
Yeah.
and they don't finish it. So to me, the way I would look at it, imagine going to the movies.
You got robbed.
And you don't get to see the movie end. You're just,
Yeah.
go online and, so to me, I think a great educator is timing, right? Knowing your time. Can you finish a full haircut in 1 hour or 30 minutes? Whatever your time is given, how to prep for that. How to address the audience, talk to the audience, all while explaining and doing a haircut. How to not to avoid dead space. A lot of people will cut and just stay quiet, and now everyone's quiet, and you're giving people an opportunity to get on their phones and yawn and all that. So just being in control 1,000%, that makes a good educator. And I think as an educator, when I watch people educate, I don't just watch people the way your average person would. I actually study them. Body language, is their message clear? Are they telling me what they're doing, or are they telling me why they're doing it? And I think a lot of people just recite, oh, grab a number 1, and then a number 2, and a number 3. Okay, bro, I can see you. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
But why are you doing that? And I think
I remember what I taught at the Barber Plug experience, because this is a new for me. I don't, I've been teaching on YouTube, which is, it's way easier.
You could cut. Let me do it again.
It's way easier than doing it live in front of a crowd with real-time reactions. I remember when I did the Barber Plug one, you told me that figuring out like how to explain the why instead of just how. Yeah. Like, what does that mean to figure out the why behind what you do?
If I sat here and I grab, let's say, a section and I pull the hair out, and I want to pull out at a 90 from the parietal and I start cutting, I'm not just telling you what I'm doing, because if you're watching me, you're going to be like, okay, at a 90, which means square, but why? Well, the reason why I'm pulling at a 90 and I want to keep a square shape is because the reason why I want to keep a square shape, his head might be too round, and if it's a guy and you want to create a masculine look, square shape's always going to be masculine. So now you're explaining why, and that's probably the most easiest when people cut square shapes. Why is it more masculine? Now, does that mean only men can get square shapes? Of course not. I always preach about learning the rules as a professional, so later in the field you break them as an artist.
Yeah.
You might get a girl that might be more on the aggressive side, more of her vibe, edgy, and you might want to give her a square shape. So knowing and understanding these things help, and explaining to the people why. And another thing, if you're going to fade, what's easier is going from top to bottom. Why? Well, when you're going from top to bottom, you're not chasing a line up. And I think a lot of people, especially people that are starting, have that trouble of chasing that zero line or any type of line going up. And if they want to create a low fade, now you're going into a high fade. So by going in reverse, you're not chasing anything and you're working your way down, making it easier. You get what I mean? I'm telling you why. I'm not just telling you what I'm doing.
I just wanted to jump in and say thank you for watching the podcast thus far. Listen, a lot of the people who watch and listen to this podcast are not subscribed. So if you could please do me a free favor, hit that subscribe button, share this with a friend. It really helps out the channel and allows me to continue to put out high value content. Now let's get back to the podcast. Yeah, another thing that I noticed that you do and a couple other people is when you say prep, you guys might do a certain portion of the haircut before going up. Whereas for me, I was like, oh, I got to do it. Like, I'm in the barbershop. I got to do a haircut from consultation to finish. And I'm like, bro, how do they do this in 40 minutes?
Oh, dude.
So, like, how do you go about figuring out, this is what I'm going to do before I go up, and this is what I'm going to demonstrate on the stage?
So I'm gonna share a secret. If you are a good educator and you have 2 hours to teach, you can do a full haircut on stage. Some people might sit here and say, I can do a haircut in 30 minutes. I can do a haircut in 1 hour. Yeah, at your shop, not talking to anyone.
Yeah.
Watching music, listening to music, watching TV, or just in the zone. And people don't forget, when you're at your shop, you're in your comfort zone. You can move quicker. You can do this. When you're somewhere else that's not your shop, Now you may not have good lighting. Now it might be too hot. Now you might be nervous. There's going to be all these factors that play a role. So I always tell people, if it takes you 30 minutes to do a fade, then you're able to do a fade within an hour and present. But if it takes you an hour to do a haircut, and you only give it an hour, I would do half the cut beforehand.
Gotcha.
That way you give the people a final look. You guys like what you see? Yeah, today I'm going to show you how to get that done on the other side.
Smart.
So now you broke that time in half, giving you the full hour to break it down. But now if someone's like, we're going to give you 2 hours to perform, and you know you can do a nice haircut in 1 hour, then 2 hours, that's what you utilize. 1 hour for the cut, another hour to break things down and talk to the people. Because what I don't like is when people have an hour, and they'd be like, all right, man, I got an hour to get this done. So now they got their back on the audience, and they're just cutting, and they're talking, they're cutting. But you're not engaging with nobody. People are just watching you. And
watching you cut hair.
Yeah, it's just like, come on, bro. You know, so those are the difference in how you can execute the right timing. Is always double up.
That's an unlock. That's an unlock for sure. That's good. That helps me. I like to use this podcast as a learning experience.
Of course,
so,
bro.
What teaching mistake did you have when you first started educating? Like, what was the hardest part to learn for you when you started educating?
No call to action. I think that's a big one. Whether you're talking a fade, whether you're talking a product, a tool, you always want to give people a call to action. You know, I think a lot of the times I'll sit there and I'll educate, and then in the beginning, of course, I would run into this because we do the same shows yearly.
Yeah.
I would run into somebody a year later, and they'd be like, "Man, I've been searching you for a year. I watched your presentation; it was great. After stage, you just left. I didn't know where to find you. I couldn't find the tool that you had. I couldn't this." So it's very important, whether you're representing yourself, a company, or anything, that once you're kind of wrapping it up, all right, guys, if you guys like what you saw, you can just find me at loscuttit.com. You can go on Google, just look Los Cut It, or this tool right here. You can meet me by the booth. We could talk about it. Call to action, giving people that opportunity to link up.
Take that next step.
Yeah, 100%.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So going back to separating yourself from everyone else, right? How did you find what you wanted to be known for? Like, when I think of Los Cut It, I'm thinking designs. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking the enhancement that's applied with like a makeup brush. Yeah. How did you find what you wanted to be known for? Just
doing what I like, I think right now you got a lot of sheer cutting, right? And a lot of people are really good. But if I grab, let's just say, and I'm gonna say this respectfully, if I grab a couple pictures from Joshua P, a couple pictures from Joshua Monica, maybe other people that do the Menspire type cuts, and I mushed them all, and I showed them to you, and I was like, hey, tell me who did what. It's going to be really hard. Yeah. Because a lot of people, even though they have certain signature looks, a lot of those styles are very similar. So it's hard to tell, especially with long hair, who did what. Yeah. With me, you'll always know what a Los Cut It is. Whether it's one of those type of cuts with a little finesse design, a piece, a color, anything. That was always my little twist to it. So I've always just done things that I like. People think of designs when they think of me, but fail to realize that I could do color, I could do beards, I could do sheer cuts, I could do styling. But the designs was the one thing that set me apart, which I love. People love that for me, and they do that. But a lot of the times I'd be like, man, I could do way more than designs. Trust me. But I'll take whatever I can get.
That's good. Mm-hmm. How big of a role has content played in your career?
Big, real big. It sucks because every time you figure it out, it changes, and it's annoying. But it plays a big role in just never getting too comfortable. I think a lot of people they get up there, they blow up by a viral video, etc., and they just kind of they flow off that. And with me, it's just always be trying new stuff. I try a lot of stuff, different type of context, lifestyle, show work, step by step. I mean, you name it, I've done it all. Yeah. It's just really hard with me because I hate being vulnerable. I come from a generation where I can't just go on camera and start crying. Or I can't just show my whole family and my little nieces and nephews, because to me it's like, it's none of your business, bro. Right, right. But there's the new generation, the younger generation, they have zero problem being very vulnerable, showing everything. And I think that's the one thing that is kind of slowing my content down, because I've always just been more about presenting my work and highlights of the lifestyle. But again, that's changing. So now I'm going to change it up for 2026. We just finished our level 3 training. I found out a lot of ways and techniques that we can go about marketing and how it's going. And being vulnerable is number one. Just really, you may not go out there and show people like your personal lifestyle, but maybe share personal experiences in the industry that you've gone through. So I think putting those messages out and helping newer people and giving out value should help my brand out. But I'm always just trying to figure it out, like you, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, man, it is difficult to figure out what you want to be known for. Like that's the biggest thing, right? Because there's so many styles of content to make, but figuring out the result you want from the content is the biggest thing. Like for you, you want to pack out classes, you know, and is that like the main thing? You want to bring attention to the store?
The store is obviously a big one for me. But right now, I'm treating it like a barber would when he first got out of high school. I mean, out of college. You don't just take the student barber on tour and all that, right? You got to slowly build them up. So with me, we're getting the hang of, one, running the operations of the store, which we got already finally. Now we started doing events. We finally got the hang of that. Everything's flowing smooth. So now our next course will be delivering and going shop to shop in a car.
Yeah.
And outside of that, online sales and focusing more on the nation, just not Chicago. And everything's going to come with a step-by-step. I'm not going to sit here and offer all that at the very, very beginning. It's like a student barber saying $100 a haircut. Like, no, bro, chill. Like, you got to get to that first. And I know I appreciate all the supply stores that have led the way. But I got one too, but I'm going a whole different route with these events and classes.
100.
So,
Yeah, so going back to figuring out what you want to be known for, right? Figuring out what you want to be known for online through content can be difficult.
Oh, yeah.
So what a lot of people do is they'll copy someone else, right? So what do you think the effect of, let me ask this a different way. If you don't know what to make online and there's someone online who inspires you, but you don't want to necessarily copy them verbatim, how do you go about like making similar content but not doing exactly what they do, if that makes sense?
It depends on what it is, right? If it's a trend, something that everyone's doing, I don't think you should worry about. But let's just say you see somebody do something that they're specifically known for.
Like a Sly video is a Sly video.
Yeah, so
a Vic video is a Vic video. You know what I'm saying? I
think I wouldn't encourage that simply because, like I tell people, right? Even back in the day when I used to listen to a lot of rap and Drake was like one of the hitters, and then I would hear somebody rap just like Drake, and I'm like, why, dude? We already got a Drake.
Yeah.
Why would you even bother? So I would say the same thing to people. Like, why would you? Like, it's cool that they inspire you, but don't make it exactly the same way. So if Vic is on the street cutting homeless and doing people for free, then maybe you should kind of tweak it a little bit and maybe go cut veterans. Or do something that is the same concept but just different. Go to jails and do free haircuts there, or go to the old people homes. And you get what I mean? Like, don't just stand on the street with a chair just like Vic and ask people. Switch it up a little bit. You know? So,
Nice. So a lot of what holds barbers back from posting content early in their career is they don't feel like their work is good enough. What would your advice be to them? Should they still post haircuts, or how should they go about marketing themselves if they don't feel like their haircuts are where they need to be?
I think first you got to acknowledge what it is that you're trying to do. Are you trying to build clients, or are you just trying to become famous? Because those are two different worlds, right? If you're trying to build clients, and it's important to just record what you do every day. So some people have the consultation part where they sit there and talk. Some people stage it where they'd be like, my girlfriend made me come. I drove 6 hours to come here.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been doing this long enough to know what's real, what isn't. And so sometimes, you know, if you're a barber behind a chair, your day alone, a Friday, could be content all day right there. Just understanding how to film it. But I always say this, right? If you guys were at a barber shop, if you were at your shop on a Saturday, busy as hell, and somebody walked in and said, man, y'all suck. Y'all can't cut hair, and just left, are y'all going to close the shop down that day? No, right? Because who cares what this guy says? He don't know no shit. So a lot of people are scared of negative comments. Oh, I don't want to post because people might not like it. They might comment negative shit. That shouldn't judge you. You should just post because the more you do it, just like anything else, you're going to get better at it.
Yeah.
You know, I look back at my first YouTube videos. I'm like, what the hell is this? But I just kept doing it despite not getting views, despite not getting likes. And I just got better. It got more comfortable. And then that's one day that could all shift and people end up messing with it. So I just tell people, just do it. Your life is content. Why? Because it's you. I don't do what you do, and you don't do what I do. So your morning routine is different than mine, etc. And I've been watching from your hair thing, bro, your transplant, to your barbershop. I mean, I kept up to that. I never really did that with any of my spaces.
Yeah.
But you moving different from me, I kind of be like, damn, I should have done that for HQ. I should have done that. So I get inspired from different people, as a lot of people do. And I think a lot of people compare themselves to others that are doing great, but fail to realize that comparison is what is the thief of joy.
Yep.
You know, if you compare yourself, you're never gonna be happy. So to me, I don't even watch people's stories. Like I get people that be like, "Yo, you watch this?" I'm like, and it's not that I don't care. I just don't care.
Yeah, and you got to protect like your creativity too, because I know when I overconsume content, it affects the way I create. You know,
exactly.
Because either like I don't know what it is. When I overconsume, it just really does affect it.
It makes you feel like you're not good enough or you're not doing it right.
Yeah,
and all that. So it plays a big role, man. But I also, when I'm on internet on just anything, I study. I don't just take it in.
You watch it differently.
I watch it differently. I study. I see what goes viral. Why? How can I bring that into the hair industry? And I switch things up. So
yeah. Same. Yeah. If I notice I watch a video for a long period of time, I'll like catch myself like, what made me watch that all the way through?
Yeah.
And like try to dissect like what can I apply to mine. So
yeah, like I was on TikTok watching some guy mow the lawn for like 3 minutes, and he was just going fast as hell, mowing, cutting the edges, and I'm like, well, why did I watch this for the entire 3 minutes? Well, one, I don't mow lawns, and I don't know how to do it. So I'm learning something. So maybe instead of doing these cool videos where you're just cutting to all the good scenes, maybe if you just fast forward a full haircut, people will sit around and watch you do an entire fade.
Yeah.
Because they're learning rather than you looking cool, you're giving them value. So that's kind of how I tweak my mindset sometimes.
100. What are some of the benefits that you've experienced from documenting your journey online over the years?
I love documenting because people that don't do hair, my clients, my family, get to see what I do. So when they start seeing, like I remember, to give you an example, when I first started doing like getting signed and going and traveling, I would go to like family events and they'd be like, oh, those celebrities here. Everyone always gives you that, you're Hollywood now vibe.
Yeah.
But when you're documenting everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the struggles, the highlights, the sacrifices, all that, plus the work, the techniques and all that, your clients respect you more, people respect you more, and they actually take you serious. So now if you want to charge more, your clients are going to be like, well, hell yeah, dude, you're getting flown here, getting flown there, you're learning this. I see why. Yeah. But let's just say I'm not documenting anything. My clients don't know anything. There's today's, some of my clients today just look at me like I'm Carlos. They don't even, they know they're older in the 70s. They don't even follow me.
They don't even know what you do outside of cutting their hair.
I kind of talk to them in a way, but for my younger clients, they follow me on Instagram and all that. So I remember raising my prices as I got bigger and bigger. They were with it because they understood where I was coming from and what I was doing. So it made sense to them. You know, like right now, the Bears are doing great. I know for a fact if I go try to buy Bears tickets, I'm going to get hit over the head. Yeah. Because they're doing good. That's just how it is. But if Bears sucked and you're still trying to charge me a lot, why would I come to you?
100.
So I was proving that concept to people and showing them, hey, look, this is what I've gone through, this is what I've built, and this is why I charge, or this is why I do the things I do.
100. Do you think your ability to grow your own personal brand as Los Cut It helps when trying to get put on with a brand?
100%. Let's just put it like this, right? I've said this before on stage. You got to think back to like Michael Jordan, right? Back in the 90s. When Michael Jordan was doing it, killing it, three-peat, you think after every game he was just calling Nike or Gatorade and was like, yo, y'all see me out there? Y'all see me? No, Michael Jordan was doing Michael Jordan. So when you build your own brand, you don't have to reach out to nobody. The light goes on you. The moment you start killing stuff, you start making that noise, people are going to reach out to you and your brand becomes a thing. So I'm real big, and if you're going to work for a brand or if you want to support a brand, put your brand first, because you're the reason why any brand is going to want to work with you, because you're going to generate money for them and vice versa. But I think a lot of people want to get put onto brands so the brands can put them on, and they don't work.
That's not how that works.
Respectfully, brands won't do that to you. They might give you a platform, but they're not going to sit here and train you and get you up to speed with what's going on. That's your job. That's why they want to work with you, because you're killing it, not because they're killing it. So I always tell people, build your brand first, because one thing I've realized is when people work for brands and they don't build their own brands, the moment that brand lets you go, what do you have? You have nothing.
Nothing. So and I've seen it.
Same. So I've always said it. If, God forbid, one day we cut ties with BaByliss or I cut ties with Level 3, I'm still Los Cut It. I still have headquarters. I got my own thing going on. Yeah. So that's my leverage. You know what I mean?
100. What is it that these brands look for in barbers? Like, is it about the follower count? Is it about, all these vanity metrics? Like, what is it really? What are they looking for?
I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. There's a reason why brands carry people that have millions of followers or a big hype, and there's a reason why they also carry people that don't. Yeah. Because you have to be able to cover every aspect of it. You know, we might need just educators that can go to Rugby, North Dakota, and do a class at a salon.
Yeah.
And then we need somebody that could do a bigger production in Greece for thousands of people. So they look for a variable. You don't have to be popular or famous. You just have to be. I think the best way to get in is to, one, learn how to cut hair. Two, learn how to educate and present. And then if you do all that, it'll be easier for you to create content for yourself, allowing them to see you, and that could give you potentially opportunity to do bigger stages and become bigger, famous, etc. Like me, I was able to do a lot of things behind the scenes and working with Level 3 back in the day. So when BaByliss got a hold of me in 2016, they already felt comfortable enough to throw me in the bigger stages, but also doing the little small classes. But once I got bigger and bigger and bigger, they limited me. They're like, no, we can't have you just go into these little classes. Now we want you for the bigger shows. So as I got bigger and I created more leverage, my negotiation got stronger. So instead of doing 20, 30 classes a year, I'm only now to 7. But I'm making more than I was then.
High impact shows,
Yeah, I'm making more than I was doing then. So building your leverage, building your brand simply by just understanding how to educate, how to cut hair, how to present, and the rest all comes after that. Yeah.
What instantly turns a brand off to a creator?
Not being a team player. I think a lot of people come in with that me mindset, but being able to get there early, help people, give ideas, give inputs. It's one of the things I've done with BaByliss whenever I had certain ideas or certain situations, just helping people out. I've known people that got on the team just simply helping bag purchases.
Yeah.
They would just be there like, you guys need help bagging? Yeah, sure. And they would do it for a couple of shows, maybe a year, and then the following year they were like, hey, we like you, man. You're cool. You vibe with everybody. Let's get you on the team. Let's train you. And then there's people that have gone in there. They were like, damn, we got this person on the team. That's dope. But wasn't a team player. Didn't show up to any of the meetings. Didn't contribute to anything. Only showed up when it was 5 minutes before their segment and then left and disappeared. Like that Hollywood celebrity vibe. They don't like that. But unless, again, you're that, like, for example, I'm not sure exactly, but you know who Guy Tang is?
Yes.
Yeah, very popular, very famous. I don't know personally, but someone like him that's very big could be understandable why he would just come in, do his thing, and leave, right? Because he's really, really big. But at the same time, if you're just somebody just coming up and that's your vibe, they're not going to like that.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, who does this person think he is? So just being humble, man, being aware, humble, and helping people, especially the ones that are there helping you by selling the products, et cetera, and helping you just kind of generate sales, et cetera. You should do the same thing in return. And I think that's just going to help any brand. Even with me, for example, I got my girl Ashley here. She doesn't get paid by the hour and all that. She comes in once a week, shoots content for us, does inventory lists and all that. Those are the investments that I'm paying attention to that later on in life, when I'm able to, I get to take care of her somehow, some way. But if she came in here, did some bullshit sweep, and then talk about, hey, you gotta start paying me now. It's okay, we don't need you. Thank you. I appreciate you, but we don't need you. So little things like that is how people move in the industry. People want to do a couple of things and feel like they deserve something. But it's like, dude, sometimes you just got to put in that work until the opportunity comes.
100. Yeah. So do you think you have to position yourself as an educator online, or can you be like a Sam Rascals, or like these influencers that make more so lifestyle content intertwined with barbering? Like, would that work, or do you have to position yourself as an educator?
You do whatever you want. I love educating. That's why I kind of give out that vibe that, I always try to teach, because I'm good at it. I know I'm good at it. Sam Rascals, like him, I wish I could just record myself doing my everyday and get 20,000 likes. You
got to have a look.
Yeah, you have to have a look. I get it. But I'm not taking anything away from him. He developed something that works for him, and it's dope. Now, does he teach? Have I ever heard? I don't know anything about him teaching or not.
Yeah.
But him being big, and again, I don't know, so I'm just kind of hypothetically saying.
Well, not necessarily him, but that style of content. Do you think that would still? I got a Charlie horse for a second.
Yeah, I feel you.
Do you think that a brand would still be willing to work with somebody like that?
Of course. Why? Because he could drop a video and get hundreds of thousands of views instantly.
Yeah.
And him simply just, here's another thing that I think barbers get mistaken. Like, if he got that much hype and people actually like watching him, he doesn't even have to talk about what he's doing. He could just go in the mirror and line up his mustache. And if you mess with him, you could be like, yo, what clipper is that?
Yeah.
Damn, he got right. Oh, he's doing the BaByliss. That's what's up. And just by that, they can get purchases and sales and all that. So I think a lot of people become way too salesy. So if you market a brand or someone sends you free stuff, instead of being someone you're not. Just be real. How do you really feel that you got this package from BaByliss?
Yeah.
Does it make you happy? Talk about it. I think people are going to be more willing to see that than, hey guys, this is our new 700 speed motor. Like no one really cares.
No one cares about the numbers. No, if you could find a way to implement products in an organic piece of content that you would have posted anyway, that's the best.
Because I look at it like there's a lot of times where I watch videos and somebody will do something, then I'm like, oh, rewind that. What the hell was that they were using? And then I'll literally look into it because what they did with it. So they didn't have to bring it up and talk about it. So I think I'm real big with trying to go that route now. And I told that with like level 3. I was like, instead of always marketing, like those videos are cool for the company.
For the ads
for myself,
and stuff,
for myself, I want to just be very organic with it. Because people are going to know when I'm being salesy. I'd rather just be like, oh, you guys want to see how I created these curls? Check it out. First, you want to blow dry this and that, and then you want to grab your pomade. Not your level 3 pomade. No, you want to grab your pomade and look how I'm doing this, I'm doing that. People, if you're really interested, you're going to be like, what pomade was that? Oh, it's level 3. Damn, dope. As long as you tag, as long as you mention, you should be good.
100.
But as far as being an influencer, I think that's dope. But if you have a passion for education, I think doing both. Why not do both?
Yeah.
I think you should just do one or the other.
Got you. So we all know the positives of being an educator, traveling, gaining influence, becoming the go-to source. What are some of the negatives, or what has it costed you flying around the world over the past couple years, teaching, being away?
Well, fortunately for me, I don't have kids, right? I don't have a family, like so to say.
Yeah.
My family lives out of state. So right now it's just me, my girl, my dog, right? And my businesses, obviously. So with me, I don't feel it as impactful as like Mr. Official would or someone like you would.
Yeah.
I've been on the road with people that just had a kid a week ago, and I'm like, what are you doing here? You're like, oh, man, I gotta get this money. So a lot of sacrificing. I think it all looks good on social media. It all looks good on video, but the sacrificing of missing out birthday parties, missing out weddings, missing out I think my mom's birthday is November 1st, and for the last 8 years, I've been in Dubai for that same show. So I haven't seen her on her birthday in 8 years. And, those things bother me, but those are sacrifices you have to do. I think a lot of the times people don't understand when you're in one part of the world to another part of the world to another part of the world, you start being in different climates that get you sick. The food can get you sick. And there's nothing worse than having a show and you just got the bubble guts, or you're sick because of the weather, or your timing, your jet lag. There's a lot of factors that play in a role when you're in these situations. Now, also, people don't also understand when you're traveling the world and you got this big show and they want you to do this and they want you to do that, but you don't have any models. So now you're in a city that you don't know, in a place that you're not familiar with, and you got to find not just a model, but the right model.
Yeah.
Right? Who can you do a design on? Who can you color? Who can you this? So there's a lot of things that people don't see. So I think people just think that you get there and the companies provide everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, you have to figure it out. So those are just a few to name a few.
Do you have any regrets sacrificing some of the things you've had or had to put aside over the years?
No, and here's why. The reason why I don't have any regrets on missing out certain things, etc., or people, is simply because this career has given me an opportunity to do my own thing. So I don't have to wait like your average person for holidays to see the family, or Valentine's to give flowers to my girl, or her birthday. I can celebrate on a random Wednesday and go out to a fancy dinner. It doesn't mean nothing to me. I don't believe in weekends. To me, every day is a day. So I don't believe in just being busy Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I could be busy on a Tuesday. It doesn't matter to me. So sure, I'm not here for my mother's birthday, but I can fly her out a week after and hang out with her, no problems. I don't have to talk to nobody. So that's kind of how I balance it out. I don't just miss out. I make up for it.
That's good.
Yeah, whenever I want. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I think it's important to always highlight the positives and the negatives, because I know there's just some opportunities I can't take on because of the other real life stuff that I have going on. So I was just curious as to that. But you mentioned that, you being in the position that you are allows you to do what you want. And with that, you could have opened a barbershop. You could have done a lot of other things other than open HQ and turn it into a barber supply store.
Right.
Why didn't you open a barbershop when that would have been what most people do?
I was working at Official Cuts Barbershop, which is Mr. Official's barbershop, for 14 years. Since the age of 18, I got out of there at 31. And over the years, I managed it for 2 years out of those years. The last 2 years, I was a manager. I got to see people come and go. I got to see people slack, people do him dirty, people open up shops behind his back 2 blocks away. Not mentioning it, him finding out, firing him. I've seen people disrespect him, people try to cheat him, steal from him. I've seen it all. So when I opened up my first suite, I remember thinking, I don't want to open up a shop because I'm going to deal with that anyways. And nowadays, if you open up a barbershop with a lot of barbers, you have to have that mindset that you have to understand that you're not going to keep everyone. Everyone usually becomes a barber to do their own thing. No one's going to become a barber and say, I'm going to work for Dre for 30 years of my life.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, I'm going to start there, maybe go do my own thing. So you're always going to be in a position where you have to, you have to be aware that most of these people are going to leave you. And I didn't like that feeling. So I was like, how can I be in control? Well, let me open up a suite. So when I opened up a suite, that was simply because content was already taken over. And I understood that content was a form of currency.
Yeah.
The more content you could create, the more popular, the more money comes your way. Once I opened up my studio, I outgrew it, and then I got this big one that's 3,000 square feet. But I was always traveling. So as you can see the space 5 minutes from downtown, it's not cheap. So imagine traveling 40, 50 times a year. This place is just closed.
Yeah.
It's not generating any money. And I didn't like that. So I was like, all right, what can I do where even if I'm out of town, this place could still make some type of money or facilitate something. So I thought about a barbershop. And I'm like, maybe a barbershop, but I'm like, who's going to run it if I'm not there?
Right.
So then I started thinking a bunch of stuff. And then the idea, shout out to Forward Barber Supply and other supplies that really gave me that idea of doing a supply store, because what I've noticed about barber supply stores is neutral grounds. If I did a class at, let's just say, Rockstar Barbershop, some other barbershop in Chicago would be like, man, I'm not going to that shop. You're doing a class there? Hell no. But if I do another shop, I'm going to get the same thing from this barbershop. But by doing a supply store, it becomes neutral grounds. All shops are welcome here.
100.
No one's going to say...
That's smart. I didn't think about it like that.
No one's going to be like, man, screw that. No, anyone can come in here, and it's a place for everyone. That you could purchase any brand, anything. So that was my mindset. I just wanted to become neutral grounds and then also have a space where we can give platforms to people.
That's awesome. I like the new age of people actually getting like a warehouse space like this, because there's people like Marty Blends, and now I see, all these other influencers turning warehouse spaces into this. So this is one of a kind, man. This is awesome.
You like it?
This is nice.
Hell yeah, man. My dude.
What was this like when you first started it? You said this wasn't planned?
No. This started off as my personal studio.
Yeah.
It was just me sitting in that chair by myself. I created this white wall for my guy Ricky, who's my photographer, videographer, and product, everything. And then the back was just like the kitchen hangout area with a big ass couch and a PS5.
And that was all you had imagined for it?
That was it. I just needed a headquarters where I can come in and plan my content, shoot, and hang out.
Yeah.
I got inspired by, what's his name? Rob, that one show, that hilarious show on MTV. Ridiculousness.
Yes.
When he had his, there you go. He had his own playpen, his own warehouse. So that inspired me. I just wanted a spot where I can just have fun. But again, that turned into, all right, well, let's make money. Let's rent it out to people because it's an event space. People started coming in here doing videos, music videos, album release parties, and they would trash my shit. So after they trashed, I was like, it ain't worth. That money's not worth all this bullshit we're going through. So then that's when we thought about, let's do a supply store, and here we are.
That's what's up. So do you feel with you, being, not to call you old, but like a veteran in the space, the go-to guy, having a supply store, playing a lot bigger role with these companies that you're with, are you like in a new chapter, a new phase in your career?
Yeah, I'm fully aware where I stand, right? I don't want to do this traveling stuff the way I'm doing it now in my 40s. I'm 38 now. So I'm like 2 years, I don't want to be 40-something years old still doing this. I kind of want to play a back-end part because I do have a lot of knowledge, a lot of history, a lot of experience. My goal now is to give platforms to the new generation to direct them properly by showing them how to educate, showing them what it is to do free education and give them the tools they need. That's why anybody from Chicago, I always mention, if you guys are from Chicago, I'm more than happy to help. But you can't just get handouts. You actually got to do something to get something.
Yeah.
So I'm real big on just giving not gatekeeping, giving everything to anyone that's willing to take it. And that's where I stand now. I want to work with these companies in a way where bring the new blood. I'll be the person to show them all the
Yeah.
things, you know? I don't necessarily have to be the guy that's on stage anymore, even though at this point I feel like I could still kill stages and do all that. People want to see what I do, but there's going to come a time where no one's going to care about me. And I don't want to be that old dude on stage still trying to be relevant, dress young. No.
Yeah.
I understand where I'm at, where I'm going to be, and my goal is just to kind of help anyone that's up and coming.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking about helping people who are up and coming, right? Let's talk to the person watching this video that's just trying to make this barbering thing work. What is the biggest piece of advice you can give them?
Be patient. I think everyone wants everything like this, and it's like, nah, bro, because you can go viral tomorrow, but after that, then what? How are you going to sustain that? There's nothing under here to keep you up there. But like me, 26 years, I built steps. So even if I aim for the stars and I fall, I'm not going to fall all the way down. I'm going to fall right here because I built all this to keep me up here. So this is why it's easier for me to try new stuff now, because even if it doesn't work, all right, let's pivot. Let's do something else. Where people will try one Hail Mary, shoot, and probably hit millions of views. All of a sudden, everyone knows who you are. But what do you have to follow? What do you have underneath it? You have nothing.
Yeah.
So I tell people, build yourself, man. Try different things. When you're young and you're living at home, fuck up as much as you can, because you live at home. You don't have the bills. You don't want to wait till you have a family of kids in a house to risk shit, to try shit, because if it don't work, you got to sell the house. You got to get rid of this. So I tell the new generation, if you're young and you still live at home, take all the risk you can.
Yeah, literally
You know
mess
what I
up
mean?
now.
Mess up now, take, all that. But also invest in yourself. Invest in getting better. Don't just treat somebody like me and be like, oh, he's old, you don't know what he's doing. Take that experience with your youth, with your sense of knowing what's cool because you're younger than me, and take my experience and mix them, and then that'll help you grow. Yeah. And the same thing for someone that's my age. All these young kids don't know anything. Hey, bro, take a young dude, have him teach you what's relevant, what's cool, the 6'7", whatever the hell these kids are doing. Have them show you that, but have your experience as a business owner, as this and that, shape what they're teaching you, and now you can be relevant, but at a more sophisticated level. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is why a lot of times when I work with people, they're all in their 20s. They're all in 22, 23, 24, 25. And I get to learn what's popping in their world, but I also get to teach them my world.
Yeah.
And kind of mix the two. So when people say, man, I wish I knew then what I know now, that's possible today, because you can grab somebody that's young and teach them what they know and vice versa, and then you just produce.
Where do you get your humility from?
Oh, I don't know, dude. I think when I was young, I was very arrogant, very cocky, it all came natural. I'm not big on astrology, but I understand I'm a Leo, so understanding I'm a Leo, we have a lot of positive things. We are a focus of attention. We have a lot of good things, but some of the bad things is you can come off cocky, you can come off arrogant. So as I got older, like late 20s to my 30s, I love being around people that give it to me straight. And sometimes people will be like, man, Los, you're so cocky, you're so arrogant, you this, you that. So becoming self-aware and just kind of letting that go and be like, all right, I'm not better than anyone.
Yeah.
I struggle too. I deal with a lot of shit. I just deal with it better than most people do. So it looks like I can come off this way. So I think to kind of having that in the back of my mind all the time, I try hard not to help people and be kind to people and be good to people and give people an opportunity. Like, hey, look, you mind if I come to Chicago and do? Yeah, of course, bro. Instead of being like, what you gonna pay me, bro? No, because now I understood, and it's been proven that the more I give people, the more comes my way. And I mean, like I said, I got a group of people that come in here just to help out. Wow. I don't pay nobody. And that's because I also help out people. So I think karma's a big one. But again, if you would have met me at 28, you wouldn't be talking to the same person. So I think a lot of people grow into being humble. And that comes with a lot of difficult and bad trials early on in age.
Yeah.
Even with my girl now, my girlfriend, she'll be like, man, she's like, man, you're so amazing. Like, I can't believe I met. I'm like, yeah, you would have met me 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be saying that. But I had to go through all that to become who I am today. So that's
100.
what it is.
Well, ever since I met you, you never came off as cocky, just confident.
No, yeah, it's all people. It's a fine line.
Yeah.
And because I don't show myself too much online, people based offline, like I hear it all the time, bro. Damn, Los, like you're real cool, man. I didn't think you were gonna be like that. I'm like, what did you think I was gonna be? I don't know. I thought you was gonna be cocky. I'm like, but what is it about my posts or anything I do on social media? Because I'm not shirtless taking photos or something. I'm not out here with money. You don't see me like I don't show shit off. The only thing I show off is the work and what I do. So I'm like, what is it about that tells you I come off like that? And people just be like, confidence. You just look confident, and that kind of gives that vibe that you're cocky. And I'm like, damn. So
that's
what do
a them problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
a them.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because I could understand it if I was out here with like flexing jewelry and money, and I was just
100.
like, I get okay, cool, but I don't even go that route. But I don't know. To me, as I got older, I stopped caring about that. That doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
What really matters is people that I really mess with and how they feel about me, not some stranger that doesn't know who I am. Yeah.
100%.
And I love hearing it. Like you said, since I met you, I never gave you that energy or that vibe because there's no need to.
Yeah.
You know, there's no reason for me to come and step over you like I'm no, dude, you're the future. You are, what you're doing now, what you're doing today is the reason why our industry is still growing. It's not what I'm doing or Pacino did, it's what you and anyone underneath you is doing.
100.
And I got to show that love and respect right back, you know?
That's awesome. Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah, hell yeah. I can honestly say if I die today, God forbid, I am truly happy with how my life's been because I always did everything I wanted to do in the sense of I never just wished for it. I never been like, man, I wish I could do this or I wish I could try that. I just tried it. And if it didn't work, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have no regrets, man. So that's kind of the life that I want to live. I don't chase money. I never did anything for $1. I feel like people that have a price in their head will betray you for the right price. So anyone that moves with pure, intentions, pure energy, that's kind of how I go, and I attract those based on how I move. And this is why it's very rare to get anybody on our team that's a backstabber because we feel that immediately. If you don't fit, you don't fit. So that's just how it is, man. You get what you put out. If you're a negative person, or you're a thief, or you're wrong, you think negative, that's all you're gonna attract. And
yeah.
I think just me helping people out and just kind of being that dude that just anything you need, I got you. I think God brings the right people in my life, and they always have. When breakups, friendships, ending, all that, you always feel like, man, my world's over. But those are all just blessings in disguise, and you don't see it until something better comes along, and you're
100.
like, damn.
Yeah, it's the power of hindsight, right?
Yeah.
Like after the fact. Like it didn't make sense in the moment, but now I see it,
So because I'm familiar with that feeling, every time it happens, I'm like, wait, this is for a reason. If I missed a flight or something got canceled, instead of being mad, it's for a reason. Like today, I woke up this morning, I had my schedule all set. I'm going to clean myself up at 9 a.m., go into the shop, cut a couple clients, and I go to open my bag, I got none of my clippers. Realized I left everything an hour away at level 3.
Yeah.
So I had to cancel everything and drive that hour there and immediately drive back.
Yeah.
Then you got here, I was still cutting my hair. So instead of me being so mad and irked that I had to do that, I had to stop and think and pray, like, all right, God, like, it's probably for a reason. It's probably a reason why I this didn't happen, that happened. And I'm here now. It worked out in the end, right?
Yeah.
So instead of letting energy take over on things that I can't control, I just pray and be like, all right, it's got to be for a reason. So
that's good. Man, when it's all said and done, right, what do you want to be remembered for? What impact do you want to leave?
Oof. I mean, just anyone that's ever got to know me could say, like, man, that dude just never stopped. Like, he elevated in so many ways. He helped the industry. He helped people. He helped this. Like, I just want nothing but good things to be said, regardless of what they are. I would hate for people, not that they would, but for anyone that truly knows me to be like, man, Los was this, or he did me dirty, or he owes me money. No, I've always wanted to just keep a clean slate, not do anyone dirty, not burn bridges. And I think a lot of people have a problem with burning bridges because they think they may never need that person again. But life's funny, man. You might cut ties with somebody 10 years ago, but 10 years later, you might need that. And if you burn that bridge, like, for example, I've been out of official cuts for 8 years now. No, 7 years. Me and Mr. Official are like brothers. There was no reason for me to leave his shop after 14 years and burn that bridge. No reason. So sitting with him like a man, face to face, and letting him know what my plans were and why I had to exit his shop, that conversation alone has brought us closer instead of me just doing him dirty and getting a shot behind his back and just give him a 2 weeks notice.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, dude, you have to have that respect. If you give someone that respect as a man, they're going to respect you moving forward. Because now when I have this space, he brings his school here, those private field trips and all that. We have a better relationship now. And I go teach his students every time he gets a new batch, free classes. So I tell people, don't burn bridges, man. You never know when you're going to need someone. So
100. Yeah, man, he spoke highly of you.
Did he?
Yeah, how proud he was of you. So
that's my brother right there, yeah.
Man, if you could go back in time to Los Cut It just starting at Official Cuts, what would you tell him?
Tell him?
What would you tell the younger
Oh,
self?
myself? man, you just do exactly the same thing. Because I've always moved with integrity, like my own. I did everything my own way. I never listened to anyone. Not in the sense of I was just being stubborn. I would have people tell me, and then I would decide if that was something I wanted to do or not. I never had anyone control me or tell me or manipulate me. And I've always been a leader in everything, in the sense of learning these things and then leading my own way. So I would look back at that Los Cutting and be like, nah, just keep doing what you're doing. Like you were moving the right way the whole time. I don't know if you spoke about it, but I was a good worker. I mean, to be there, think about it. You have a shop. How long you have your shop for?
A year.
So imagine someone being with you for 14 years.
Y'all brothers, for real.
Yeah. 14 years.
He told me 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, to 10 at night for years.
Yeah, for years. And I was dedicated to that because I understood that he was a great example. He wasn't the type of boss that would tell you to do this and do that, but that he wouldn't do it himself. He will lead by example. He'll be right there with me. And as an employee, as a worker, it's nothing better than seeing your leader or your boss right in front of you. So like imagine you go into war. The general that's in charge of you is right there with you, front lines. You're gonna feel better than him being all in the back and some pole talking about go. You know, man, what about you?
Get up front.
Yeah. So having someone there with you in the front lines, especially someone that's your boss, that's kind of, he led by example, and he was always a man's man, Mr. Official. So that was who my mentor was. And
that's what I told him. I said, man, you are a barber's barber. Yeah. Like literally.
100%. What do you think of his school? It's fire.
It's beautiful.
Right?
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's him.
Yeah.
It's
him. 100%. And this is me.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy to go from his space to your space and like see like the difference. You know,
he's like, with him you go back in time. With me you gotta go in the future.
Yeah.
Or modern times at least. So
100.
That was dope, man.
Man, so if you had to describe your journey thus far with a hairstyle, what would it be?
With a hairstyle? Ooh. Damn, that was a good one. With a hairstyle, I had to describe myself. I would say a mullet, business in the front, party in the back. So I'm very clean cut, being in the industry for 10 plus years, not having any, again, I don't want to jinx it, but just having a clean record. Not burning bridges with companies and just being a high valued person, being the only barber in the world to have a Conair contract to sell and distribute their clippers. No other barber has that.
That's crazy.
So little things like that, but at the same time, if you know me personal, without the cameras, without anything, I'm a good time in a sense. Yeah. So business in the front, party in the back, mullet. Yeah.
Let's go, man. Hey, Los Cutting, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me, being on the podcast.
No, I appreciate it, man. You keep killing it, bro. I'm a big fan.